Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Rachel Cruze, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author and co-host of the Smart Money Happy Hour hit on Ramsey Networks. My daughter is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Jim is in Connecticut. Hi, Jim. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I have a question. I've been listening for some time now, and I haven't heard this question answered. So basically, we have about $90,000 in student debt, and we have the money to pay it off.
Good.
But my question is, so I have a friend that's in real estate, and he basically is telling me to get into real estate with that money rather than paying off my student debt. So essentially, putting down 20% on maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 properties, for example, using that money to cash flow the payment on the student loan, and then obviously build equity and wealth for whatever, our kids, for the family, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I did something similar in my 20s, and I went broke.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a fan. I think your friend doesn't know what he's talking about. I now own several $100 million worth of real estate. But I did not do it the way you're talking about. I paid cash for it as I went, a little bit at a time,
right.
And it's gone way up in value while I've owned it. So the problem, to break the theory down, is debt equals risk.
Mm-hmm.
More debt equals more risk. Debt equals reduced cash flow in real estate because you got to pay the payments. More debt equals no cash flow in real estate. So when you have a tenant that pays you just a little bit more than the house payment because you only put down a little bit on the house, when you add up all of the repairs and the vacancies and the tenants that don't pay, which happens occasionally, when you add all of that together, you are actually losing money on a leveraged piece of real estate, like you're describing. And so
I agree.
Unless you're going to feed these 3 houses to the tune of about $500 a month each, average, about $6,000 a year each with the numbers you're giving me, you're not going to be able to keep them. And so they do not become a blessing then. And the idea that they're going to cash flow and pay off the student loans, it's actually mathematically not going to happen. And again, I'm 65 years old. I started doing real estate in 1978 when I was 18. So I didn't just invent this and get on TikTok.
Well, I was gonna say that real estate, to your point earlier, is a major part of your wealth today. So it's not that it's against real estate. That, you're not sitting there saying, "Oh my gosh, it's a terrible investment. The idea of real estate's terrible." But the way at which you do it is really important. Right. And I think the hard thing is too, Jim, a lot of people set up these scenarios, and for some people it's like, okay, yeah, maybe it could kind of work out, but that means everything has to be perfect. Everything. From the market, the tenant, the house. You could get in this stuff and you tear down a wall and there's mold. You can't put a tenant in for 12 months until you do X, Y, and Z and you've bought it. I mean, there are so many factors to it that it never works out perfecally. It just doesn't, because there's just too many things up in the air. And so I
would pay off your student loans, honey.
Yes.
Yeah. Because essentially the way he was explaining, it's kind of like, hey, you paid off your student loans, congratulations, down the back, here's your paper that you paid it off, rather than like, oh, hey, you bought whatever, say one property, for example, that's like a bigger, good job in a sense.
Yeah. In a sense, you said, okay, in the world of finance, we have a thing called opportunity cost. When you take your $90,000 and you do one thing with it, you lose the opportunity of doing the other thing with it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
And so the way to look at that is kind of do a little reverse engineering. Let's pretend you didn't have student loans. Wow, that feel good. Would you go
Yeah.
borrow $90,000 to put down payments on houses?
No, yeah,
No.
that's why I knew you would. Yeah.
Which is exactly what you're proposing if you look at the balance sheet of what you're proposing. So the data tells us that people most often build wealth not doing your friend's plan. Instead, paying off your student loans, using the increased cash flow and the increased freedom to start saving, paying off everything, being 100% debt free, and then let's pile up a little cash and get our first property with cash, and then get our second property with cash. And when you get about the fourth or fifth one, now you've got real cash flow coming because there's no payments.
Yeah, and what's funny is even from a net worth perspective,
It goes way up.
well, his friend's way, it goes way down because you're borrowing on a $200,000 house and you have $90,000 of student loan debt. You know what I'm saying? You keep putting yourself deeper in the hole, even from just a net worth perspective, if you're just looking at the math too.
Yeah.
And Jim, always too, remember this. An Excel sheet, a formula, is never going to factor in the emotion of peace. And when you don't owe anyone anything, even a student loan, there is a level of peace there from an emotional, spiritual perspective that is not calculated in an Excel file. And I'm telling you, when people become debt-free, they pay off their houses, even in an extreme sense. When people stand on debt-free, the debt-free stage here, and they're completely debt-free, their house and everything, they literally have no payments. They never look back and say, I so regretted that. I wish I still had all this debt and I was living how I was living.
I missed out on the opportunity to be highly leveraged and stressed out.
Right. I mean, like there is. So there's a level of peace there that I think is really important to solve for. And when you're just running and gunning and trying to do this whole thing to look good on a quote unquote balance sheet and what you have to say for yourself, I would swap peace every time. You're going to have time, Jim, to be able to do this. I believe you will have time to save up, go buy your first fixer-upper and get in the real estate game. That's great. When you do it all with cash, it's going to just take longer and there's way more delayed gratification. But what that equals is a level of peace and sleep at night versus just that risk factor that's so real.
Full disclosure, Rachel knows what she's talking about. That's what her husband does. Winston's in the real estate business.
Well, and he does flips, but with cash.
He
yes.
buys property,
Yeah.
and he does it with cash. And he runs my portfolio as well, and we do it with cash. And,
And it didn't start off, the first couple, it was like a condo.
The first
that was
one was a little
foreclosed. It was
one-bedroom condo, and it was pretty
nasty.
stinky.
Nasty.
Pretty stinky little condo. And that was your all's first property.
But what's crazy is, you put the money in, you go in and work it, you fix it. And then again, he's in more of the
money.
Yeah. And he's not in the hold business, but even some of these flips, and I've told you this, I'm like, one or two of them, if the market kind of slows down for about 4 or 5 weeks and you're holding on, we don't think much about it. His friends that kind of do the same thing that do have payments to the bank, they're like, God, when is this market going to pick up? And there's a level of stress there. And I'm like, I don't know. There's just something to be said about not worrying. You're fine. You're fine.
You want to lose money in real estate, become a motivated seller. That's the best way you lose money in real estate.
Hey, quick reality check. AI isn't just for sci-fi nerds and Silicon Valley tech bros anymore. It's the new weapon of choice for every scammer with fast Wi-Fi and bad intentions. Identity thieves could be using AI right now to steal your info in ways that would have sounded impossible just 5 years ago. We're talking voice cloning, deepfake videos, filing bogus tax returns, draining your bank and retirement accounts, and even home title fraud. And it can happen fast, so most people don't find out until it's too late. So as someone who has had his identity stolen before, I don't mess around. I use Xandr ID theft protection because it keeps up with today's threats without the crazy price tag other companies charge. You get real-time monitoring across your whole financial and digital life, and if something does go down, they'll give you the full white glove treatment, like 24/7 restoration services by pros based in the US and up to $2 million in stolen funds and expense coverage. So you don't need to live in fear, but you do need to be smart about protecting your identity from thieves. So go to Xandr.com or call 800-356-4282 and get yourself protected today.
Martin's in Los Angeles. Hey, Martin, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
So I've come into I've got a fair amount of debt, but I'm also, there's some good things going on. I've got a job where I'm making really good money and a lot of room for upward mobility. And so far, my performance at the new job has been pretty fantastic. So I think there's a lot to look at, positively about the future. But the weight of the debt is really hitting me. So I make about, I've got this job recently. I make about $200,000 a year.
Cool. What are you doing?
I'm in sales.
Good for you. What are you selling?
And I sell medical devices.
Great. Good job. Good position. Well done. And how much debt you got?
So I have about $20,000 in student loans, $20,000 in credit card debt, which I used to help pay for school because I got hit pretty hard during COVID. So
how much you owe on your car?
About 30, but I get an 800, 900 a month stipend for it.
It doesn't matter. You get that whether you have a payment or not.
Yeah.
All right. And so what other debt? 20, 20, 30. What else?
That's it.
What'd you make last year?
So
before you had this job, what'd you make?
So I made 150. The year before that, I made 85.
Okay.
So I've gotten promoted twice in the last 2 years.
So if you could live on 85, you could be debt free in a year.
I didn't have the car payment back then. I didn't have the credit card payment then.
If you could live on 85, you could be debt free in a year.
Okay. All right.
I mean, really. Here's the thing.
Okay.
200 minus 85 is 115.
Yeah.
And you only have $70,000 in debt.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think with taxes and I'm putting about 12% into the 401k.
Stop
Doing the 401k?
Temporarily till you get this dadgum mess you made cleaned up.
Okay.
Completely focus on clearing the debt. When I picked up the phone, Martin, I heard amazing amounts of stress in your voice. You were sighing, breathing hard, all kinds of anxiety indications in your verbal patterns when you started talking about the debt. When you talked about the job, you started lighting up again and your voice pattern changed. Okay?
Okay.
And you said, if I could, I'm drowning. The words you were using, and I'm drowning in this debt. And so I want you to react to this debt like your life depends on clearing it. Because if you could make $200,000 a year and you had no payments, you can be wealthy, sir.
Okay.
But if you hang around with stupid car payments, stupid credit cards, and stupid student loans, and you keep them around like they're a freaking pet, and you try to ease your way out of this with the kind of money you're making and try to work some kind of thing where you scam the system, you're still going to have that stress in your voice.
Okay.
Get it.
Martin, what makes you think you can't? If last year you were doing 85, what's the hesitation?
It's not that so much. I've put a fair amount of debt on in the last year, and I mean just stupid purchases and things like that.
Right.
But it's not so much that I can't. It's more just kind of trying to figure out like what do you think is feasible. Like what, just understanding like what would you do?
Yeah.
I'm new to this. Again.
So if you're making 200 and you stopped your 401k contributions, what would your take home pay be
per month?
Probably around 10 a month.
Yeah.
How much is your rent or mortgage?
Rent is $3,000. That's the really tough one.
Yeah,
and
that's a big dog.
It's not like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's 30% of your take-home pay.
Yeah. Something's wrong, Martin. 200 minus 120. 10 a month is 120. You don't have $80,000 worth of withholding.
isn't it about 50,000 withholding at that point?
Well, 50, not
With
120.
federal, and then you have another 20-ish in
No, you got
state California
It's
state
60
taxes.
California maxes out their rich people taxes 15%.
Okay.
Because they're trying to run off all the rich
Wait,
people.
15%?
Yeah, California has a rich people tax of 15% of your income.
I thought it'd be more than that.
No, that's it.
Okay.
But that's more than any.
That's in
that's,
addition
that's
to.
more than any other two states
Yeah.
put together. But yeah.
But that's
So-
addition
Yeah.
to your. I mean, so it's.
Yeah, and then you've
then
got
you're
your
what,
then you've
four-
got your federal, but your
which is
federal's not
third.
even going to be 50,000 in this case. So
Okay.
you need to really get above your numbers here and start working them through. So I
No,
think
I mean,
you're
it's
debt free in a year.
30% federal for him
No,
at 200?
it would be 30% bracket, but it's
Bracket,
not 30%.
the full thing. That's right.
It's a marginal
yeah.
income tax
I
bracket.
know. Yeah.
So
yeah.
the bracket is not the amount.
I know.
So I mean,
it's about 26% is what.
no,
Above the bracket, yeah.
including California.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Believe me. So yeah, because these are incremental marginal tax brackets. They're not taxed
Yes.
at the tax bracket.
Yep,
So
yep.
that's the point. So anyway, you need to get into this and figure it out and sit down and go, I'm going to be on beans and rice and beans. I'm going to stop the stupid purchases. $3,000 worth of rent for a single guy that's broke. I don't know, man. I may be looking at that too. And so, but for sure,
In LA,
for
though.
sure, I'm going to work my butt off and I'm going to do nothing but work. That's all I'm going to do. No vacations, no buying crap. You are broke. Quit acting like you're rich. You're not
Yeah.
rich. You're broke. Act
Yeah.
like it. And pay down this debt and be done with it. Because you reach over and knock off all those credit cards in 2 or 3 months, which you could do. You probably do it in about 4 months, actually, 3 months, something like that. Then you're free to knock out that student loan and then reach over and knock that car out. Think about what your budget looks like when you don't have any of those payments anymore. This is where you've got to go to. And so what the plan is stop everything temporarily and attack the debt, listing your debts smallest to largest, pay minimum payments on everything but the little one, and attack the little one with a vengeance. And please, God, don't figure out a way you can't do it. Figure out a way you can do it. That's the point. And so stop your 401k temporarily. Stop your vacations, stop your happy hours, stop all this junk you're spending money on, unplug stupid Amazon, and go get out of debt. And then when you're free, you're going to make a lot of money, and you'll be able to stack cash really quick because you'll be used to living on less than you make. And that changes everything. You're resetting the wires in your brain.
Yeah, and it is a rewiring, because I think our natural tendency always is to be moving forward, meaning like bigger, better. You start with the starter house, you get the bigger house, like our life, you get promotions. Everything that we're used to is gradually increasing in life. And when you do this and you actually pause your life and go backwards in lifestyle, it kind of it'll mess with you.
Yeah.
Because you're not used to that, right? The celebration of moving forward always, I got a bigger job. He's getting paid twice as much, as he used to. And it should feel like, I should have twice as of a better life. Not with this, not when you have debt. And so there is a rewiring of what feels like going backwards. And that natural tendency is not to like it. I don't want to go backwards. I should be moving forwards.
Yeah.
But when you're doing it so on purpose, and time goes fast too. That's my other thing. It feels like Christmas is about to be here. And I feel like we just had Christmas, right? Like you think about how fast this time goes. It's going to go quick. It's not forever. It's literally for a snapshot of a moment in time that you're going to do this, and it sets up your whole trajectory going forward with your finances.
These days, business as usual is anything but. Tariffs make trade policy a moving target, supply chains are squeezed, and cash flow is probably tighter than ever. So if your business can't adapt in real time, you're in a world of hurt. That's why you need NetSuite by Oracle, trusted by more than 42,000 businesses, including Ramsey Solutions. You need to see what's happening, what's stuck, and what's costing you, and how to fix it. And NetSuite is the #1 cloud-based business management suite because it helps your business make the right decisions fast. It brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one place so you're not left shuffling a dozen different spreadsheets. That gives you the visibility you need to make quick decisions based on actionable data. And NetSuite AI automates everyday tasks so your team can focus on strategy. It's one system for full control and no guesswork to tame the chaos. And right now, if you're leading a business doing more than $1 million in annual revenue, download NetSuite's free ebook, Navigating Global Trade, 3 Insights for Leaders, at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. If you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, feeling like a rat in a wheel, feeling like you can't get ahead, join one of our free Every Dollar trainings. There are new trainings every week this month, and they're all hosted by one of the Ramsey personalities, Jade or George or Rachel. Rachel, when will you be doing the next one, do you know?
I think next week. George was on today, actually, during lunch. He was doing his, so.
Perfect.
Yep.
We're going to show you how to stick to a budget, and you find thousands of dollars of margin using Every Dollar. This gets you out of debt and helps you to start building wealth. We show you how to do it. And you've got a live Q&A. You can ask any question you want during the whole thing. It's the free, did I mention it's free, Every Dollar training. Sign up at RamseySolutions.com/webinar. Jim and Sarah are in Michigan. Hi, guys. How are you?
Pretty well, Mr. Ramsey. Yeah. Thank you for taking our call. We're anxious to talk to you, sir.
Our honor. How can we help?
Well, we've been married for 40 years,
41,
and we've
41.
Gone through a lot of finances successfully. We've managed to save a substantial amount of money. And about 3 years ago, I acquired a 30-foot sailboat. And it costs roughly $6,000 a year to own and operate.
What did you pay for the 30-foot sailboat?
Well, my neighbor gave it to me, or I should say Jesus gave it to me.
Free?
To be more accurate.
He gave you a 30-foot sailboat free?
Jesus did.
Yes,
yes, sir.
We have 3 sailboats given to us for free. 3.
Okay. You currently own only one?
No, we own 3.
You currently own 3 sailboats?
Yes,
Jesus
sir.
loves
3
to
free
sail
sailboats.
Up in Traverse
And
City.
you said you'd piled up
I
a
only
substantial.
found 2.
Hey, Jim, you said you'd piled up a substantial amount of money. What's your all's net worth?
Not that much.
About $3.7 million.
Sarah,
No debt.
not that
No
much.
debt.
She said not that much. That's pretty good, Sarah.
Well, I listen to you every day for 2 hours, and we could do better. You know?
Okay, so what are the 3 sailboats worth?
The cars. Altogether, the cars and the sailboats.
No, I
everything with
asked
a
what the
motor in it.
sailboats are worth.
The sailboats altogether are worth $7,000, and we have a camper worth $500.
Okay, so a 30-foot sailboat is worth 2,000 of the 7 or 3,000 of the 7? Jim, does that sound right to you?
5,000 of the 7.
5,000.
of the 7.
Okay, so you got 2 junkers and 1 good one. Okay. So you have a
Yes, sir.
$5,000 sailboat,
Junker.
but you want to spend $6,000 a year to keep a $5,000 thing alive. I'm confused.
I am too.
No,
Well,
Jim, we already figured out what you want to do, Sarah. Jim, why do you want to spend $6,000 to keep something that's $5,000 alive?
Well, that's just the normal cost of marinas, marina slips, and then launching and recovery in the spring and fall.
Yeah.
And, minor incidentals.
It's not that much, but I
normal.
kind of expected that when you said you were spending $6,000 on it, that it'd be worth $30,000 or something.
Well, it's worth what you can get on it on a good day, but, it could easily be worth $20,000.
No, $5,000. 5,000. And we spent.
Wait a minute. There's a bit of a discrepancy here, boys and girls.
Yes, sir.
Y'all are fun.
Well, with old sailboats, it's what you can get for it on a.
No, really, Jim. The stinking thing has a market value. Seriously, the range of value is not between 5 and 30. It's one or the other.
It's
you know that.
$5,000.
Where did you get that number, Sarah? You sound so sure.
The insurance.
What?
The insurance.
Insurance does not determine value.
Okay, then I'm wrong.
Okay.
It is between $5,000 and $12,000, possibly. But
if you put a sign on it, you might sell it for $12,000.
No, you can't sell it. It's so bad. People can't give them away.
Well, they did to you.
That's the problem.
Yes, sir.
And so far, he spent $30,000 and 37 and 86 cents on a boat that people give to you. Over $30,000 on a.
You've had it 5 years.
About 3. This is my third summer with it.
And he spent $30,000 and 37.
Yeah, but we're talking like I don't know.
Okay,
$500 a month.
There's two issues here. Okay.
I don't know.
Jim, we're not going to make Sarah happy. Okay. Sarah's not going to be happy with the sailboat.
Sarah's not happy with 3.7.
We know that. We know that. Sarah's not going to be happy with a sailboat. So then the question is, Sarah, if you take the value of the sailboat and what you spend on it and you burn it in the middle of the floor, does it change your life when you have $3.7 million if you take $6,000 and throw it out the window as you drive along the interstate? No, it does not change your life. So this is not a deal breaker. You're not going to be poor and on food stamps because of Jim's sailboat, Sarah. You're fine. You can afford to do this. It's not a big deal. But Jim, you probably do need to think about, I mean, are you still sitting on the other two boats as well?
Yes.
I can only count one other sailboat, except for a model sailboat in the living room.
No. We have another boat.
Oh, another boat, but not a sailboat.
Well, yes, we have another boat.
Oh, you mean the rowboat?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir. We have a 12-foot aluminum boat. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
And a camper.
Yeah. Okay. And all right. And so, other than mess with Jim, Sarah, what are your hobbies?
Well, actually, to be honest with you, I'd actually like a kitchen sink. Because
hey, Jim,
I don't have
it's going to cost you a kitchen sink. Jim, remodel the whole freaking kitchen as your trade out. Yeah. All right.
No, it's totally.
You two cheapskates are made for each other. Y'all are fun. I love y'all. You're great. Listen, $3.7 million, if it's growing at 10%, is growing at a rate of $370,000 a year. And we're having a discussion here about an aluminum 14-foot rowboat and a kitchen sink, y'all.
Yes,
you need to back up about 3 notches, pan your camera back, and start enjoying some of this money. Now, being tight and smart is what got you here, but now you need to enjoy some of it. And if $6,000 makes Jim happy, it's $6,000. You can afford it, okay? And Jim, if getting rid of the aluminum rowboat and the camper and the odd sailboat makes her happy, get rid of them and remodel her kitchen too. You guys can afford to do all of that, but don't major in minors. It's stealing your peace, okay?
Yeah. Well, when she says remodel, we have a 3-year-old home.
I don't care.
Countertop and a triple. Okay. All I'm saying is
buy her a sink.
All I'm saying is she wants me to tear that out and go down and get her a commercial sink like you find in the kitchen at McDonald's.
And I don't want you to do it. I want you to pay somebody to do it.
Well,
they're high grade steel. They're high grade steel.
Yeah, kind of like that aluminum boat. It's high grade.
Use the aluminum from the aluminum boat. Make you a sink.
We're going to recycle.
You kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Hey, guys.
Well,
listen, you're stepping over dollars. You're stepping over dollars trying to pick up nickels.
The kitchen
and it's stealing your fun.
Quality.
It's stealing your fun.
Yeah.
So there's stuff that my wife buys that I do not understand, but she gets joy from it. And what I do get joy from is her getting joy. There's stuff that I buy that she thinks it's stupid when I buy it. But she doesn't hassle me about it because we have the money and I get joy from it, and she wants to see me get joy. So let's major in you guys giving each other some joy starting going forward here. Okay?
You knew it's a funny call when he's like, we've been married 40 years. And she's like,
41!
41!
We ain't got any money. We're broke. It's only $3.7 million.
We didn't do good. They were funny.
Y'all are great. That was so fun.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, give each other some grace and love, and to the tune of about $30,000 each. And just go blow some money on your 41-year marriage. What a wonderful thing to do. And you won't even know it happened. You'll still have $3.7 million. With the lowest prices of any national grocery store, shoppers save big at Aldi. Aldi believes in making shopping straightforward and stress-free. Whether you're firing up the grill for a family dinner or hosting a backyard barbecue, Aldi is there to help. They've got a great selection of fresh USDA choice meats and organic produce at prices that won't bust your budget. And no messing around with apps, coupons, loyalty cards, or membership fees to get low prices on award-winning products every day. So stop overpaying and start shopping at Aldi. Find a store near you today at aldi.us. That's ALDI.us.
Savings based on regional analysis of Aldi versus select competitors. Prices may vary by location, product availability, and the market.
That was the most fun I've had in a while.
What, that call?
Those two were a hoot.
They were funny.
If y'all want to call up and argue on the air in front of like millions of people, we would have you anytime.
Yeah, we had a segment for a little while with the personalities called Settle the Debate. And people would call in and but they were very entertaining.
They were fun. God, man, I mean, just going to dinner with those two would be a hoot. Arguing about what you're ordering. It's like, that's too expensive. Don't get the cheaper chicken.
Don't do that.
I love it. Jenna is in San Antonio. Hi, Jenna.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure.
I was calling because I'm looking for some guidance. So a little backstory. My dad sold us, me and my older brother, our childhood home back in 2021. And like the stipulation was that he could still live on the property and not have to pay like rent or utilities. And my older brother and I rent out the house, and we make about $3,400 a month in profit off the rent. And my dad right now, he's a single parent, growing up and everything, so he didn't save for retirement. He lives off Social Security, and he says money is tight right now, and he reached out to us and asked if we could give him $400 from the profit of their rent each month. And my older brother was like, sure, 100%. And I just like did not feel good about it. I was like, I think we need to look at your finances first, like figure out why money is tight, and then like draw some boundaries. So it's not like every year, like, oh, I need 500, 600, and it add up and everything. And I recognize like none of this money is coming out of my own pocket. It's like purely just profit. And I don't know if I sound like a brat as a child by not just giving it to him. And so I'm just looking for guidance on that.
He sold you the house?
Yeah. So we did he sold it we did a parent to child transfer, and all he wanted was $50,000. And then we took over the rest of the mortgage. But, like, me and my brother are on title and loan. Like, it's legally our house.
Yeah, and so what at the time that the mortgage plus $50,000 at the time this happened was how much?
$450,000.
So you had a mortgage of $400,000 and you gave him $50,000 cash.
Well, we did a cash out refinance, so we gave him $50,000 from that.
Oh, okay. And so the two of you have a $450,000 mortgage now, And at the time that he sold you the house for $450,000, what was the home worth?
Like 1.3.
Okay. Okay. So, and now he doesn't have any money.
He says, yeah, money's tight.
But I mean, he doesn't have any money. He had $50,000, and that was many years ago, and he's gone through that, and he lives on the property, humbly.
Yes.
After he gave you $500,000, he's not very wise. He shouldn't have given you that money. He shouldn't have given you this house.
I know.
I mean, his first obligation is to pay his own bills. His second obligation, only after you're paying your bills and have a plan for your bills do you start giving stuff away.
Yes, I think he had that plan. I think I'm not sure. That's why I wanted to look at his finances, but I look at it because the house is worth a lot of money, and then I feel like, I don't know.
It was worth a lot of money when he gave it to you. He gave y'all $1 million house for $500,000.
Yes.
Yeah. And yet he ran out of money. So the whole thing, he's a single dad, he hasn't saved for retirement's bullcrap. Because he would have had $500,000 in the account living off of that and not been calling you if he had just simply sold this house.
Correct. And he's told us that he regrets it. And
yeah.
Hindsight is 2020, but
it was dumb. Yeah, and so I assume he has absolutely no other money that you know of. It's not like he's got $1 million in the bank from something else.
No, I think he has some savings. I don't know because I haven't looked at his finances, and so I was like, hey, if we give you this $400 a month, like let's sit down, look at your finances, see where money is going. Because
how
in my
old
head,
is
I'm like,
he?
you don't have a car. 73.
And how is his health?
Great. He looks like he's 55.
Okay. All right.
And he's retired, not working, Jenna?
Correct.
Yeah. You don't have an obligation at all, morally, ethically, spiritually, anything. But if someone had given me a $500,000 gift, and in return they're asking for $200, because 200 of it's yours, 200 of it's your brother's, I wouldn't think anything about giving them $200.
So you wouldn't do it?
I would do it.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it'd be a problem at all. I mean, he gave you $500,000. He stupidly gave you $500,000 that he shouldn't have done. Then he wouldn't be having this trouble.
Yes.
So I don't know what was going on in your.
Well, I'm curious, Jenna, why $400 for him? To your point, wanting just to look, I'm just curious if $400, does that change? What
He's probably living on Social
that?
Security, living in the shed out back. That's what it sounds like. Right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's why I was like, I didn't know if I was in the right to ask him,
Well, I mean, you could, it would be not to ask him to justify you doing this, but just to make sure he's okay. He might need 800.
I'm just worried. My biggest worry is that he is going to give it to my little brother because my little brother just doesn't do anything, and so
okay, that's a fair. That's
where I want that.
That's new information that you never brought up until now.
Sorry.
That's okay. But now, I mean, so I think you can address that with your dad. Dad, I want to make sure you're okay. I'm happy to do this, but I'm not happy to give my little brother money because he sits on his butt.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to give it to him, no, I'm not going to do it. And if you'll let me look at your stuff with you and make sure you're okay, I want to make sure you're okay. You gave us this wonderful gift all these years ago. And little brother got cut out of that gift, by the way, didn't he?
On paper, yes, but my dad is now coming back and saying that, hey, you need to split the house 3 ways.
No.
No. I was like, he wasn't financially responsible at the time of the sale, so that's why he wasn't included.
Yeah. No, we're not redoing the deal. I've been dealing with this house, and now I'm dealing with you. No, the deal's done. But again, you see how haphazard this whole thing was. When y'all did this deal, it shouldn't have happened. It was a bad deal for your dad, and he didn't think it through well. And now he's trying to come back and slide the brother in, and now he's trying to come back and slide $400 out because he should have never done this in the first place. He didn't have the $500,000 to give away. He was too broke to be giving away $500,000 gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so now, I would be concerned that he's okay because his judgment's bad. We've established that. I want to make sure he's okay. I want loving active. Yeah, I'm happy to do this to help you, Dad.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to put the little brother on the deed. Period.
Yep.
That's done.
And the money's not going to the little brother. But if all is said and he says, no, it's not, this is for me to this.
Then I will take care of him.
Yeah.
I mean, he gave you $500,000, you give him $200. Zippy. It doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, I would do that. Definitely do that. But but step back 2 notches, and y'all as a family learn your lessons from all the ridiculous things that have been done wrong in this whole thing. So, and now I'm really worried about you and your older brother being partners in this thing. And now little brother decides he's going to go into orbit about this. Yeah, this is not clear. It's not good. So, bad deal all the way around. Bad deal. Man, so...
but Jenna, I don't think you're being a brat for having these questions. You asked that at the beginning, and I think you're having some critical thinking.
Yeah, you've got some concerns that are valid.
Yeah.
And I would look into those concerns, but I want to do it through the lens of love. I love my dad, and he was generous to me, and I want to make sure he's okay. Not of, I'm not going to give him $200. That is bratty if you're going to do that, but if he's going to give it to the little brother and the little brother's buying weed with it, no, we're not doing that. I'm with you on that. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. Rachel Cruze, Ramsey personality, my daughter, best-selling author, is my co-host. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Emily is in Maryland. Hi, Emily. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. So my question revolves, a little background about me. My husband and I are both accountants. We make about $10K take-home pay right now after we put in about 10% of our earnings into 401K and, insurance and everything.
And how much is the 401K and the insurance a month?
I don't know exactly, but for my husband, I don't know, but for me, I take home about 45.
Yeah, but your take-home pay, real take-home pay, as you know, is not after insurance and 401K. Real take-home pay is after taxes.
Right. So this is after taxes. This is
it's after taxes and after 401K and after health insurance.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to ascertain is what your real take-home pay is. Okay, go ahead.
Right. Yeah. This is the paycheck that we get. So the dilemma we have right now is that we are living in our house right now, which we bought about 10 years ago, a foreclosed property, needed a lot of work done. But we bought it because it was cheap, and over the years so I've always tried to live below our means, and we have no debt, we have savings, we have an emergency fund. So we're kind of on the step where now it was time to pay off our home. Mm-hmm. But recently I was working at a school where my kids were going for free. It was a private school, but both my kids have learning issues, and so we had to take them out of the private school, and now they're in the public school in our local neighborhood, which are not that great. The dilemma we have right now is that we want to move to a better school district, but obviously the house prices, everything that we're looking at, is really going to put us in a position where we're going to end up living paycheck to paycheck. We don't know whether we should make that move or not, because Our house is more than enough for us. We're living comfortably in it. It's only the schools that we're not happy with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know the math yet, but if your statement is true that you're going to be broke because you made the move and paycheck to paycheck with no margin, that obviously means you can't afford it, if that statement's true. So, but you might be an accountant who's super tight, so I don't know. It sounds like that your after-tax take-home pay would probably be around $12,000 or a little bit more per month, not counting in more 401k. If you added 401k and health insurance back in, I think that's going to add a couple $1,000s a month to your take-home pay. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think we'd be around 11K.
I think you'd be around 12K. I don't think you're doing all that for $500 a month. What's your household income? Well, no, I know you're not. You told me your household income. Okay, so no, you're not. That's not $500. So unless you're not putting much in your 401k.
I know that I put about 12% and my husband puts about 10%. So I don't really know what that comes out to be. I haven't looked at it in a while because...
Well, the average would be 11% between the two, but let's just call it 10%, and you make $100,000 a year, that's $10,000 a month, or $10,000, $11,000. So 401k alone is $1,000 a month, plus health insurance is going to be another $1,000 a month. So, yeah, I'm right. It's $12,000. Okay.
Something like that. Yeah, I guess. But what we get in hand right now is about 10K. And
I know. Okay.
Right,
so,
but what I'm trying to say is that if the mortgage comes out to be like between $3,500 to $4,000, which is what the houses we're looking at right now,
if you put that on a 15-year fix, that's going to be about a fourth of your real take-home pay. That's going to $3K would be a fourth would be about your max.
Could you find something for $3K, Emily, in that area?
So we have about $400K equity in our house, and what we're looking at is obviously to upgrade. I know that that's kind of going above our...
Well, don't upgrade to go paycheck to paycheck. Can you get a smaller house in the nicer area just to get the kids in the school?
We can, but long term, I feel like it wouldn't be a good move because we wouldn't be able to, have the same kind of equity in that house or like be able to sell it because we do want to have like just this.
So Emily, so it's a values conversation at this point because as you're saying, you're going to live paycheck to paycheck if you make this move because you're already assuming you're going to upgrade houses to get a bigger house than what you guys are currently
used to. And the reason you're getting a bigger house is not for your kids.
Yeah, so there's a value system conversation of am I going to do what I have to do for the kids? That's number one. And we'll figure out the math and live somewhere smaller because that's our value. That's our number one value. Or is it we want to have a place where our family can grow in a home and get X, Y, and Z, type of house. And if that's the value, then go there. But one has to trump the other. For the math, you can't do both. And it sounds like the kids are the number one, Emily, right? And so for now, I would. As a mom with 3 kids, I get that. Like you want them in a great space where they're going to thrive and it's awesome. And if that means we have to move to a smaller house, we have to move to a smaller house. And then in maybe 5 or 6 years, we can upgrade, right? I mean, your income's going to go up over time. But if you need to make the move, it sounds like you can't do both.
Yeah. Don't strap yourself to buy a bigger house that you want and blame it on the kids. That's not fair.
Yeah.
So if you want to buy a house for the kids, move over in the school district.
And it's going to be a nicer area, so it's going to be a smaller home, right?
And it's going to go up in value.
Yeah. So the equity
you're not going to lose equity. You're going to increase your equity because you're in a better area. So
yeah, maybe an older, smaller home, but it's in a better area for the kids, and that's
we
great.
did this for the kiddos. Yeah. And that's the situation. So, but the formula that we use, the reason I was poking around on your stuff, your take-home pay so hard is a fourth of your take-home pay on a 15-year fixed is what we suggest because that gives you room where you are not living paycheck to paycheck. You've got margin in there to save for Christmas, save for the next car, save for a trip. You've got margin in there, and you can start putting 15% of your income into retirement at that point. But if you go over 25% of your real take-home pay, and you're calling take-home pay I'm talking about, when I say take-home pay, we're talking about only taxes and only taxes coming out. And you've got at least $2,000 in non-tax things coming out of your checks. So you're dealing with about a $12,000 take-home pay, the way we're defining it after taxes, maybe a little bit more, which would mean 1/4 of that, which is $3,000. And that's what we would recommend on a 15-year fixed rate. And 15-year fixed rates just went down a tiny bit this week. Just a little bit, not much, but just a little bit. So that's how we get at it. But the thing you've got to do, Rachel's right, is you have to separate these discussions and keep it very clear what the primary goal is. What's the primary value we're trying to solve for? Hold on, folks. Don't panic. Buying a home in today's market doesn't have to be complicated, but it does take more than hope and a quick internet search. To get the right home, one that will be a blessing and not a burden, you need a trusted mortgage partner who will listen and serve you, not push more debt. You need the professionals at Churchill Mortgage. I've personally recommended Churchill for over 30 years, and they're the only mortgage company that's Ramsey trusted. Churchill stands out because they operate the Ramsey way with transparency, integrity, and a commitment to doing what's right for the customer, not what's profitable for themselves. Churchill aligns with Ramsey's values by focusing on education, responsible mortgage lending, and helping people make smart, long-term decisions that enable them to build lasting wealth. Go to ChurchillMortgage.com today to begin a better mortgage experience. ChurchillMortgage.com.
This is a paid advertisement. NMLS ID 1591. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Equal housing lender.
Our question of the day is sponsored by Why Refi. You didn't take out private student loans hoping to default, but life happened. Why Refi won't shame you. They'll help you explore a real plan to get back on track. Head to whyrefi.com/Ramsey and you can find out more. That's the letter Y, REFY.com/Ramsey, not in all states.
Today's question comes from Ashley in Colorado. We are the parents of 3 young kids and have a YouTube channel, which has been monetized for just over a year. Right now, the funds are sitting in the bank in our names. We'd like to know how to grow that money wisely, but also keep some liquid. Our plan is not to give them any access to it until each of them reaches the age of 25. We are longtime listeners and really value your guidance. Should we leave it all in the bank or invest some of it or all of it? This is the, we've had this kind of question. I've had it 3 or 4 times in the last few months about monetizing on the internet accounts and stuff. Yeah. It's like, really?
Well, we don't know what it is. You can monetize on YouTube and it's a small amount of money, or it could be $1 million. And so I don't know what we're dealing with here. So the best antidote to money screwing up your kids is for you to not have screwed up your kids. Money does not screw up kids. Money reveals that your kids are already screwed up. And so you can't you can't keep it away from them long enough for them to not be screwed up. 25 is not a magic number. And so I'm going to teach them responsibility, generosity. I'm going to teach them wise spending. I'm going to teach them saving. I'm going to teach them work ethic, age appropriately. We don't know how old the children are. She says young kids. I don't know what that means. And so, but age appropriately so that when this money does come to their hands, they see it as what it is, a responsibility, not that they are a 4-year-old who hit the lottery. And and you turn them into a trust fund baby of some kind. So having said all of that, I'm going to be I'm going to spend 90% of my calorie burn on this, on making sure the kids are okay, first and foremost. Then we can talk about the technicality of the investment. Okay, the only way you keep it away from them until age 25 is if you put it in a trust. If it's in anything else, it goes to them at age 21. And you can't stop it unless it's in a trust. So you're going to have to go see an estate planning attorney.
And it sounds like the funds are in our names, which makes me sound like the parents' names.
Yeah, well, it has to be in your name because the kid you can't put a child can't do a contract. And so if you open a bank account for a kid, it's an UTMA, Uniform Transfer to Minors Act, and that means that it's in the parent's name, or it's in the kid's name, but the parent is the custodian.
Yeah, but I don't know if the kids are getting paid for the YouTube channel. Do you know what I mean? It could just be the parents getting paid.
I don't know. Okay, that could be. That would solve it. You give it to them whenever you want it. If it's your money.
Yeah.
If it's your money legally, if it's not their money legally or morally, for that matter. So anyway, what would I do with it? I would make sure that some of it was available for their first car, and that they add some to that. And so that's the part that's liquid. I would make sure there's some money available for fun. A small amount of some kind. And again, we don't know how old these kids are and how this is going to unfold, but this is what we did with Rachel and Denise and Daniel. And so, and then the rest of it, I'm probably going to sit down with SmartVestor Pro and get some money going into mutual funds. But again, if you're talking about $15,000 or $20,000 here, it's irrelevant. You're spending way too much effort to worry about it. If you're talking about $1 million or $750,000 or something like that, then it becomes relevant. And YouTube channels can monetize at all kinds of levels. We have a YouTube channel, we know. And so I know exactly what we make on our YouTube channel. So on the monetization portion of it anyway. But so I remember the first time I met someone. You remember Shay Carl?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the first guy I ever met who had monetized $1 million on YouTube. And that was Twitter was new. That's how long ago that was. Mm-hmm. So long time ago. But and they had a family channel at the time. The kids and the family were all on there in their YouTube channel that blew up. And when I found out he was making $1 million on YouTube, I about passed out because I as far as I knew, it was cat chasing lasers everywhere. But anyway, so it could be.
And I'm going to say this, and I don't know it, so I even hate to say it out loud. But I think there are some laws in some states happening for child creators that they have to be paid because a lot of these families are doing family things, and the kids are part of the monetization and stuff. So the whole
Duggars mess.
Yeah. I don't know how big of a deal you guys are on it, but that's starting to become.
Well, I'm fine with them giving them the money at some point. I just want to make sure that that the kid is able to carry it.
Yes, totally.
Obviously, if you raise a kid and they're a heroin addict and you give them $1 million, you're going to kill them because they're going to overdose. And so they're going to go buy a lot of heroin. And so you got to, you have to build the character into the individual. That's the best way to leave an inheritance and to handle something like this where the kid becomes. So the problem, like in the old days, it wouldn't have been YouTube. It would have been a Hollywood child star.
Right.
That made all this money. And then what happens? The parents abscond with the money immorally. Mm-hmm. And, or the child is just so dysfunctional because of the way they're treated in the spotlight that they're not capable of handling the money when they become an adult.
Right.
And so that's what we got to guard against, are those kinds of things. I don't sense anything in here about Ashley taking possession.
No, I don't think so.
She's trying to figure out how to bless her kids.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
There's nothing in this that even between the lines of the way the words are formed.
No, it just made me think family YouTube channel. I'm like, I just read an article recently talking about child monetization and how children now are going to, But anyways, that's
Well, I mean, the Duggars, that whole thing on that, and they were accused, the parents kept all the money and the kids resent that, and that came out in not only the documentary, but we've met some of them, and they're not happy about it. So that's the kind of thing. So that's very real. If your kids are a prop in your reality show, that's a thing. So anyway, the
character of the kid, number one, and then number two. Figuring out
teach them. And guys, the book that Rachel and I wrote, it was Rachel's first bestseller, and she and I did it together, first number one. and it's smart money, smart kids. Teaching your kids how to handle money, and the beautiful thing about using it is it's not really about the money. It's about you're using money as a methodology to teach character, to teach generosity, to living with an open hand, that other people are important. The access to the world doesn't run through the top of your little head. And so, to teach work ethic. And yeah, you will brush your teeth, so you have some later. You will do this chore, and not just because you're going to get paid, but just because I said so, because you're going to leave my home knowing how to work. That way you stay gone when you leave. And so, that kind of thing is loving your kids well. And it goes back to what Andy Andrews used to say, and it's one of my favorite Andy Andrews quotes: I'm not trying to raise great kids, I'm trying to raise kids that become great adults. And it's a different skill set. We're trying to raise not kids that look like little Stepford children and they are weird because they act like they're 32 years old and they're 4. I don't need that. Okay, I want a 4-year-old to act like they're 4. But I do want to raise them in such a way that when they are 24, they're a person of substance, a person of poise, a person of integrity, a person who knows how to work and how to save and how to give. And if you do all of that, then some of this other stuff is not going to matter.
Yeah, it'll work itself out.
It will work. You can't mess it up then.
Yep.
You can leave them $1 million at 18. You can leave them $1 million at 25. You could dole it out gradually. You could put it in a trust. You could not put it in a trust. You could do all kinds of stuff. And so, but yeah, as far as the investment part of it, if it is a substantial sum, I would sit down with a SmartVestor Pro, click at RamseySolutions.com, click on SmartVestor. You'll find the people in your area that we have vetted and that we love and that have the heart of a teacher. And they're going to give you advice that sounds ridiculously Ramsey.
Okay, Rachel, the internet officially knows too much about all of us.
So much, George. I mean, our names, our addresses, even our relatives' names. And what's crazy is even if you opt out, data broker websites can still get your info.
Don't like that.
No.
And just a year ago, get this, the average person had about 300 pieces of personal data floating around online. Now it's over 600. It has doubled in a year.
You guys, that is so concerning because that info then can be used in phishing scams, impersonation, and even harassment. That's why George and I both use and love Delete Me.
Yes, Delete Me scrubs your personal info from hundreds of these data broker sites, not just once, but all year long. And there's real privacy experts behind the scenes doing this, not bots. So this is digital hygiene we all need.
We all need it. And then they will send you a detailed report showing exactly where they found your data and what they removed. And you can even request custom removals if you have something specific you want them to look out for.
Exactly. And this is not being paranoid. This is staying protected. And so far, Delete Me has removed my info from 240 listings and saved me 94 hours of time it would have taken me to do it.
I love it. And you guys, in a world where strangers can Google your grandma and get enough info to scam her in just 2 clicks, Delete Me gives you peace of mind.
Yes, so go to joindeleteme.com/Ramsey for 20% off. And that discount brings their annual plans down to about $9 a month. So go check it out, joindeleteme.com/Ramsey.
Sarah is in Ohio. Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I was wondering if you guys had another suggestion to help me clear my credit report of a credit card that was opened by my husband before he decided to take his own life.
Oh, wow.
I'm so sorry.
Last summer and into the fall, he started to accrue a lot of credit card debt. Unbeknownst to me, I did not know about any of this until about a week before he passed away. And then after his death, I found out about a credit card that he had opened in my name only. and charged roughly close to $12,000 worth of stuff to it. When I received the first invoice in the mail, I reported it as fraud because I didn't know. And through their investigation is how I found out that he opened it in my name.
Still fraud.
And it's because he made 2 payments to the credit card out of our joint checking account. And because it has my name on it, they denied it as fraud.
And that's right. They lose. They lose. No, it is fraud. Period.
I went a step further, asking for the application and things like that and the transactions.
Yeah.
They provided those to me.
Which company is this?
Chase.
Barry figures. Okay. Yeah, they're scum. They're scum.
And lastly, I filed a police report.
Yes.
Because he used his phone number, his email, and his mother's maiden name on that application because he did not know mine.
Right.
I've been denied twice, and the police report is the last thing I just sent in last week.
Yeah.
After this, I really don't know what else to do to get this off of my credit report.
Okay, I got you. We can handle it. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So it was he. You said he committed suicide in December.
Yeah.
I'm so. Yep. How long were y'all married, hon?
Just 2 years.
Oh wow. Been a long 2 years, hasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So he was struggling with. It sounds like he was struggling with some mental illness, obviously, of some kind.
Yep. That's what I'm gathering after the fact as well.
Was he being treated for any of it that you know of?
No, he was not.
Okay. All right. So we don't have any.
His father also committed suicide.
Wow.
So I think this is a long history within his family.
Oh no,
Sarah, I'm so sorry.
Wow. All right.
I'm currently raising his daughter, and she wants to stay with me. She does not want to go home with her mom, and the court system is allowing that. I have not yet to open the estate, and I know that's going to be an even bigger thing to tackle. To be honest with you, I've called multiple people, and I have not even received a call back of some local lawyers to help me tackle that.
Yeah.
I was waiting past the 6 months so that all that credit card, those creditors, would go away.
No, that doesn't work. They still can file a claim against the estate because you've not handled the estate yet. And so, so what is the rest of the situation? The rest of the estate.
My home is in my name, but we purchased another home while we were married, and actually in the same neighborhood, and we were going to do an Airbnb with it. And we did do that for a short amount of time, and we currently have a renter in it now.
Yeah.
The home is in his name financially. It is deeded to a business name that he started up last fall. That's the estate, essentially.
What's that home worth?
Because online it states roughly $450.
And what is owed on it?
$320.
Okay. So just for cleanliness sake and to help you, we can help you with the first thing to start with. I'll come back to that. But it's not going to help ultimately because it's going to land back on him. So when anyone passes away in any state, what you own as an individual, anything he had any ownership in, any assets, stands good for any debts that he is responsible for.
Okay.
And so the equity in that house is going to stand good for the debts that he has run up.
Okay.
And that includes the debt that after we fix this identity theft and it's off of your name and it goes back on his name, this $12,000 with Chase is going to get paid out of the equity of that house.
Okay.
Even though you are not personally liable. So all we're doing is moving the P under a different shell, okay?
Okay.
But so it's not going away is my point, because he's got $100,000 in equity over there. And how much debt did he have?
From what I could tell, on credit card debt, he was pushing $100,000. One of his cars was taken back. Like the bank came and got it. And so that's
Did he
the option, I'm
own
assuming.
anything else jointly with you or at all? Any other assets, bank accounts, investments, anything?
There were some bank accounts, our joint checking and savings.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of money in there at all. Mm-hmm. And we did own a truck together, a 2025 GMC truck. Mm-hmm. I was able to get that title put in my name by providing the death certificate, and then I was able to sell that back to the dealership. But I took a $17,000 hit on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I had to get it out of my name because I couldn't afford the payment on it.
I understand.
So I had to dump that quickly. Mm-hmm. My credit score last year was an 842 before all of this happened, and it's a 620 today.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. We don't need a credit score. All we need is a life.
Yeah. I agree. And I have my home and my car is paid for, so I don't need my credit, but it's definitely hard to look at that.
So it sounds like when you liquidate anything that's got his name on it, it might come close to covering the debts that had his name on it, but you're not going to benefit anything. You're not going to have any net of anything. It doesn't sound like what you're describing to me.
Right.
But you need to do it anyway, because otherwise they're going to come after the stuff that has both your names on it. So you've got to get the estate cleaned up, or those bank accounts and checking accounts that had both names on them, and they may come back after that truck transaction because that was technically his. Okay? Even though you didn't benefit, you lost money. But that had your name on it too, right?
Yes, financially, yeah. I was the main buyer. He was the co-buyer.
Yeah. So, they won't come back after you because you lost money. You didn't make money. But your bank accounts and that title to that house over there, they're going to eventually come after all that. And you're better off to be proactive, to get a probate attorney, and you're going to spend a few $1,000s to work this through to get that all done. Now, back to your other thing. We've endorsed a company called Zander Insurance for identity theft protection for, 20 years, since before identity theft was even a thing. And now it's definitely a thing. And when someone has their identity theft and something their identity is stolen, the unique thing about this protection is they assign a counselor to you, a coach to you, that goes and cleans it up for you.
Okay.
You did not have that protection when this happened, but you know someone who can get it done for you, and that's Rachel. I'm kidding. It's both of us. All right, so we're going to put you on hold, and Kelly's going to connect you with Zander, and occasionally as a favor for someone in a especially hard situation, they will take something even and run it through the system and take care of it for you, even though you did not have the coverage at the time, okay?
Okay.
Can't really buy home insurance after the fire, okay?
Right.
But we're gonna do that anyway, and so we'll take care of that, and they'll take this case and run it down, just because I don't like Chase, and that'll help. So, but the point is, I want you to clearly understand, we're really not getting rid of it. We're just putting it over into his estate, so it's going to come up again when you clean up his estate.
Okay. All right.
So,
well, I appreciate it.
All right. You hang on, and Kelly's going to pick up, and we'll try to help you get through this, kiddo. Hey, Kelly also set her up with a Ramsey coach as our gift. She's a widow. We're going to take care of her, okay?
Switching banks can be a hassle, and I totally get that. But when Winston and I opened up our Fairwinds account, we were shocked by how quick and easy it was. It just took a few minutes online. We didn't have to block off an entire afternoon or track down paperwork. And the next day, we got a personal call from a Fairwinds specialist just checking in. I couldn't believe it when I answered my phone and I was talking to them. I was like, y'all are the nicest people. Now, if you're working hard to save money, get out of debt, and build a future, you should have a bank that supports that, not fights it. That's why I recommend Fairwinds. They created the smart checking and savings bundle specifically for Ramsey fans. Plus, they have a great app, and you have access to over 33,000 fee-free ATMs and more than 5,000 shared credit union branches across the country. So you can have access and withdraw your money just like you're used to, no matter where you live. Don't settle for a bank that slows down your progress. Make sure you choose one that helps build you up and helps you win with money. Visit fairwinds.org/Ramsey and open your smart bundle today. Fairwinds.org/Ramsey.
Fairwinds.org/Ramsey. Fairwinds is federally insured by the NCUA.
Well, buying real estate, selling real estate, trying to get a new place. A lot of drama out there right now. And when there's drama, there's one thing you need to depend on, and that's facts. And facts are generally not your hyped up friend who has an opinion about socialism. No, let's just find out what was really going on, what's really happening, what the real prices are, what the real interest rates are, and let's try to get those straight up. If you want to know what that is, just go to RamseySolutions.com/market or click the link in the show notes if you're listening on podcast or on YouTube. Dallas is in Louisville. Hey, Dallas, what's up?
Hey, guys. How you all doing? I appreciate
Davis,
your time.
I'm sorry. Hey, Davis, I'm sorry.
Hey, it's okay. Not a problem, buddy. Starting off with my question quickly here. I'm a divorced dad of two, just got through the divorce. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of route I should take to build my retirement and future for my two children. I currently have zero in retirement.
Wow. Hard times. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
What do you make?
I've been a stay-at-home dad for the last 4.5 years as my wife ran a successful business. I just got back in the workforce in June doing self-employment remodeling that I did before I was retired. I make currently about 4 to 5 a month. Before I was retired, I was making about $80,000 a year.
Okay. So you're going to be able to get it back up to 100 now. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. And so you're making $100,000 a year. You're 38 years old. How much debt do you have?
Zero consumer debt. My truck's paid off. I am only purchasing a house, which I just did for me and my two kids. And I'll have about $40,000 left in my bank after I put a $280 down payment down on my new house.
Way to go!
Nice.
Okay.
Thanks.
And so the finances in the divorce were in pretty good shape.
Yeah, we were fine. We came to an agreement. We kept it admissible as we could. Obviously, mostly for the children, and we're settled on that and signed. And now it's just me moving forward and setting up my future.
Yeah, but I mean,
and
before the divorce, y'all weren't broke, is what I'm saying. That's good.
No. My wife made a salary of about $25 per month.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So you got a good head start here. You got a house. You got a good income. You know, make sure you got the emergency fund in place. You don't have any debt, so that takes you right to baby step 4, which is 15% of your income going into retirement. And that'd be $15,000 a year going into 401ks and Roth IRAs. And if you're running your own business, you could call it a simple 401k or simple IRA, which is a 401k for a small business. You can do a lot of stuff, and you could easily get $15,000 into good mutual funds a year. And if you do that from 38 to 68, you're going to have millions and millions of dollars.
Okay, that works. I also will be getting approximately $80,000 in a couple months from my father, and I was just seeing what I should do with that money. I guess throwing it into a Roth or something as well.
I'm probably going to pay the house down. I want to get the house paid off while you're putting 15% of your income away.
How much do you owe on the house, Davis?
It'll be about $130,000.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That's great.
And you're getting how much from your dad?
About $80,000.
What's that from?
He's got a settlement from his mother in a nursing home that they basically gave her the wrong medicine and seemed to have got her.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, so he's distributing it to her grandkids.
Yeah, he's distributing it to me. He already gave my sister a front for their property a year or two ago, and he wanted to even us out.
Yeah, so that means you only owe $50,000 on your house now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you get that thing. You get that thing paid off. Boom. Now you got a big chunk of change to throw towards investments with no house payment, right? So throw the 80 at the house and then knock that other 50 out as quick as you can too. And let's be clear, and no debt. Stay away from debt, and be investing and be generous, and you're going to be in great shape, man. You're going to do fine. As far as setting all that stuff up with your Roth IRAs and everything, just click on SmartVestor Pro at RamseySolutions.com.
Yeah, and above that, once the house is paid off, that's the baby step 7, where you continue to build wealth and be generous. So you can go above that 15% at retirement and max out some of the stuff if you can. I mean, if you can max out your Roth every year and, you know, put some money into a 401k or that simple 401k, simple IRA.
Yeah, guys, y'all forget to, sometimes y'all are listening to us do this and you forget how this math works. So we paid off our house many thousands of years ago, it feels like, and it was $1,500 a month, and I was paying about $2,500 down on it, and then I got a chunk and I took it out, okay? So I took the $1,500, I rounded up to $2,500, and I put $2,500 a month automatically coming out of my checking account into a mutual fund. And I kept it a separate mutual fund. I just want to see how fast a house payment became $1 million. It was unbelievable how fast that was $1 million. It was just a few years I looked up and I went, paying yourself a house payment really is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And so when you get that house paid off and
that's when
you turn it around like you're talking about.
That was forever ago.
That's thousands of years ago.
So now it's like.
There were dinosaurs in the backyard.
Yes. Yeah. So remember that.
Yeah.
It's more expensive these days. So even if you get your house paid off now, think about how much more money.
Well, I mean,
can go in.
That was only $2,500. You know, that was a big house for $2,500 back then. But that's when you could buy a house for a box of strawberries. Remember?
I know. You traded 2 oranges.
2 oranges and a strawberry, and you could get a free house.
Really did great.
Because you boomers,
market.
you don't know how life really works. But,
you had a great housing market.
Oh, jeez. You should
it's
have seen the income.
It's my poke.
Should have seen the income.
Always.
Yeah. Rudy's in Chicago. Hey, Rudy, what's up?
Hey, Dave and Rachel. Thank you so much for having me on.
Sure. How can we help?
We just want to say we're huge fans. Started a few months ago, and I also want to mention my 7-year-old, also a huge fan, who has memorized the baby steps and will recite them to anyone willing to listen. So wanted to pass that on.
Oh no. Oh no,
Rudy! I don't even know my kids can, so that's impressive.
It's pretty funny. But so my question, I guess to begin, so we're basically in full gazelle intensity and on step 2, but we plan to be on steps 4 and 5 in about 6 months.
Good.
And so my questions revolve around my wife, who's a stay-at-home mother. So my questions are: once we're done paying off debt, should we be investing more than 15% of our household income to account for the fact that she's not building her own retirement?
No, she has rights to your retirement.
Gotcha. And also, so with that, do you recommend setting up like a spousal IRA?
Yeah. Okay. But not because she needs her own retirement, because she's got rights to your retirement. Ask anybody who had a 401k with $500,000 in it and got a divorce. Okay.
Understood.
Yeah, so that she's in good shape. She's fine. But yeah, I've done spousal IRAs every year just because it was a good way to keep the government's hand off of money, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, do Roth IRAs for sure in both your names and as a part of your 15%. And then, but I would max it at 15. Let's get the house paid off and then let's load up like we were just talking about before we picked up this call.
Yep.
And you can do backdoor. I can still do a Roth IRA because I can do backdoor Roths regardless of your income. Basically, the right to do a regular Roth IRA goes away when your household income is up over $200K. And so obviously mine is over that. So, but what you can do is open an after-tax traditional IRA, not a pre-tax, an after-tax traditional IRA, and roll it to a Roth 30 seconds later. And I do that every year for Sharon and me.
In the spousal IRA, I don't think many people realize that that's even an option.
That's
Seeing
true.
that if there's a stay-at-home parent
my
not
wife
making an
does
income.
not have an earned income,
right?
But I have an earned income in excess of both IRA limits, and so I can fund my wife's IRA, or in the case the wife is the working one, fund the husband's. Either one, it works both ways. But if you're, my wife has not had an earned income.
And you don't have to make a certain amount to qualify for the spousal.
You don't have to make anything.
Yeah.
To qualify for the spousal.
No, I'm
IRA.
saying the spouse that's working though.
Yes.
That's making
you have to make more than the 2 IRAs combined.
Two of it combined.
Than the amount you're putting in.
Okay.
Which is not. I mean, you got to make $16,000 a year.
Right.
You know.
Right.
but or whatever it is. But yeah, it's nothing. But you got to have an earned income in excess of both of them. But that's all. Wow. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. Rachel Cruze, #1 best-selling author. My daughter is my co-host. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Samantha's in North Carolina. Hi, Samantha. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you both for having me on.
Sure. How can we help?
I appreciate it. So, I'm 57. I'm a single mom and have been for about 15 years. When I got out of school, my mom and dad didn't have a great financial education. They were both teachers, and I always knew that I would make sure that I kind of did the right things when I got older. So I had jobs from the time I was 14, and when I got through law school when I was 21 or 22, I started to kind of immediately invest in my 401k and have done that for 20, 30 years. The problem is circumstances happened and became a single mom and ended up with two daughters who basically I ended up putting them through college and part of grad school, and long story made short, used up most of my income and my retirement to get them through. Obviously, I realized that wasn't the best call at the time. They're just both amazing kids, incredibly hard workers.
How much did you spend on their education, honey?
Between college and grad school, and they took out loans in grad school, probably at least $300 from my 401k, and then of course.
How much?
Throughout, about $300,000.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So.
And you paid all the taxes and the penalties on all that, obviously.
Yeah. And I know.
Do you have debt, Samantha, with it now? You said you took out some loans.
Yeah, I have about $65,000 left to pay off. Obviously, fully aware this was probably not the best way to approach it at the time.
That would be an understatement.
No better. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
A, they went to a college they couldn't afford. And B, you should have never used your 401k ever to send a kid to college. There's not a circumstance on the planet that makes sense.
I know.
Okay, but you're there now. Okay, all right. What do you make? You said law school. That's encouraging. What do you make?
I now make about $100,000 a year.
Why?
But
you've been practicing law for years.
I have. I kind of took a different path and ended up at a firm where I was able to kind of juggle the raising the girls and.
Okay. But now they're gone, and they have degrees, and they're on their own, right?
Yeah. For them, yeah. Just recently, yep.
Yeah, good. They need. I mean, good financially. It's time for these kids. They kind of got it. It's time for you to quit feeding them, for sure.
No, I know.
So now can you go make 200? You kind of need to.
Yeah.
What do you have left, Samantha, in the 401k? Anything?
About $80,000. So my question that I was trying to get to, and fully aware of all this, no excuse other than the fact that things happen quickly and their dad kind of dropped out at a time when
you made an emotional decision. I understand.
Yeah, I did.
I understand. Okay.
And I don't regret it. I mean,
what is your question then?
My question is, I'm 57, trying, I probably have 10 years to try and make up something. And I recently came across the Ramsey program and took Financial Peace last year, and it's fantastic. Wish I'd taken it 20 years ago, right? But it is what it is. I know better now. So.
Okay, that's good.
So my question is, one of your kind of general thoughts is that you shouldn't until you pay off with the baby steps, that you shouldn't invest at all until you pay off the debt, which I understand. But my question is, if it takes me say a year to get the debt paid off, at this point when I'm this time-wise,
still mathematically, we're not going to make another emotional decision. Okay. I know you're scared. I know you're scared, and this retirement thing's bearing down on you, and it's causing you to have incredible regrets for the things that have happened in the past. But all of that aside, the fastest way mathematically for you to get a good nest egg is first get rid of the $65,000 and make sure you have no debt and you're living on a detailed budget. And anything we can do to increase your income to accelerate both of these things, the debt removal and the rebuilding of the nest egg, is absolutely vital. And so if I'm you, it's time for you to go make some money, and you've been putting everybody else first for a very, very long time, and you now have no choice in the matter. You have to put Samantha first.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And just to clarify, these two girls are not, we're talking incredibly hardworking.
I didn't question their character, honey.
Yeah.
I just question where they went to school and where they got the money. But that's all in the past. I'm not going to beat you up anymore. That's not what we're here for. We're here to move into the future. So the future is you go make as much money as you can make. And if you change law firms to go make 200,
I'd kind of love your girls to step up and take on the 65.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. Well, they're just, one is,
they're so great.
No, they're great. They're just, one is literally just graduated from Columbia, and she's in a doctorate program, and so it's a fully funded program, and she's paying all her bills now. And the other one is actually heading to have an interview at NATO, and so they're
that's awesome. I just think,
hard.
I hear you, and I don't question that. It just would be nice if they stepped in. They don't have to legally because your name's on the loan.
Nor do they have to morally, because it wasn't the deal you made. But it would be cool if they go make $300,000 a year if they reach over and take care of this loan, so their broke mother doesn't have to retire on Alpo. Yeah.
No, that's a non-issue. They're both great kids, but they're just literally getting on their feet. So, and
that's fine. Okay, so Samantha, so between in the next 10 years, though, for real, working as hard as you can, upping the income, getting the 65 paid off, and then what's your housing situation? Do you own a home? No. Okay.
I did in the divorce.
Okay.
Long story, but
no, that's fine. So that would be that.
How long ago were you divorced?
Irrelevant. Probably about 15 years.
Okay.
But there's a whole lot of issues that I wouldn't want to talk about. But
that's fine. It's all good.
But got put in a situation where I did the best I thought for the girls.
Okay. So moving forward, though, again.
Yeah.
Getting that debt paid off, and then.
Yeah, and you got to get a home that you get paid off, a little 1-bedroom condo or something that you get paid for, and so forth. So, okay. She loves her kids, and single mom, warrior princess, doing the best she could.
Oh yeah,
not to pick on her, okay, but to say if you're out there in that situation, you have to make decisions based on facts, not feelings. And I'm going to take care of my children at any cost is a feeling. Those kids could have gone to state schools, not Columbia. They could have worked while they were in school. They could have gone and got scholarships. They had a mother that was a single mom. And there would have been no debt and no $300,000 cash out. Okay? And the kids would have been fine.
And still great character.
And still great kids.
Seriously.
Still great kids. Are you staying on track with the baby steps? Do you know how? Take a quick quiz for free and check your progress, and we will give you a personalized plan to get you on track. Simply head to the show notes and click the link titled, Are You on Track with the Baby Steps? And complete the free quiz, and we will give you a personalized plan. Rebecca's in Texas. Hi, Rebecca.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Well, I am in a pretty interesting situation, and kind of sad as well. Earlier this year, I guess a boyfriend at the time of 2 years was ready to take the next step, and he wanted to move to my state, and he ended up purchasing a ranch, which is kind of like my dream property, for about $1 million. Paid cash, put me on the deed. And prior to that, I said, I don't feel comfortable doing this unless we are married. At that point, he was like, nope, we're going to get married. A venue was booked, a ring was purchased, and we move forward. He moves in for about 3 weeks and then tries to almost trick me into signing the deed of the house into a trust while he's like planning his exit. And he left. So, which whole other set of emotional issues.
He paid cash.
He did.
Of $1 million for a property.
Yep.
And put your name on the deed.
Yes, sir.
And then he took off.
Yes, sir.
Wild. So I don't understand how he profits from this. It almost sounds like he was trying to scam. Is he just flighty or what?
I think he has some. I think he wants he liked the idea of this. And I think
broke your heart in the process.
Wow. Broke my heart. I'm left to manage the whole 20 acres on my own and 6 animals.
It's not your house.
It's not my house.
Well, it's his $1 million, right?
Yeah, but I'm on the deed, so technically I am 50% owner. And my home, I rented it out, and I have tenants in there through the end of May.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So is he asking for the property back at all? Like, are you guys going to sell?
He tried to, like I said, like when he was planning his exit, before I put all the pieces together, he said, oh, someone's going to contact you, to put the house in a trust to protect you in case something happens.
How long has he been
gone? 6 weeks.
Okay. All right. Wow. Okay.
So I am trying to figure out what my goal should be in this situation. Should I say, okay, let's list the property, but before it's listed, obviously have it worked out? And I mean, my life flipped upside down.
Has he been in contact with you since he left?
We spoke once. And that's when it was basically like, this is over. We're not doing this.
It's so interesting. It's usually him calling us, Rebecca, being like, crap, I bought a ranch with my fiance who I'm not with anymore. What do I do for my $1 million?
Instead, you're sitting there on a $500,000 windfall because this guy's loopy.
Yes. So do I buy him out?
That's
do
a
I
good question.
buy him out?
Do
I take I obviously will work with attorneys to have the paperwork drawn up. So the property is listed and there's an offer. We have a plan in place as far as...
You do?
So at the last minute, well, we would. That would be my goal if we list it, would be to have everything written out so there's no question.
I think this guy's an absolute... I mean, the story you've told me, he's an absolute crazy man, and weird and everything else.
I'm very sad. I'm very sad about this.
Yeah,
this has been a lot.
I bet it was great, though, Rebecca.
And yet, if I'm in your shoes, I don't feel entitled to $500,000 of his money.
I don't feel that way. Like, I feel like I questioned that, but I quit a job. I uprooted my entire life, and this gesture that he made was to show his level of commitment and his seriousness for the relationship.
So what were you making at your job?
About 100.
Can you go back?
I cannot go back there, no.
Okay. What were you doing?
I work in private aviation. on the kind of operation side.
Okay, all right. Well, obviously, you're going to have to get a career going forward.
I do have a job. I did get another job.
Okay. What do you make?
Thankfully.
What do you make?
100.
You're making 100. Okay.
Yes,
so,
sir.
other than the time off in between that you did not benefit from, how long were you out of work?
A couple months, about 3 months.
All
but
right.
this current job is not as stable as a company as my previous one, which makes me.
So your point is you've been damaged by this fraud, and so financially, and so it would be ethical to receive something for that.
I don't know.
I think that's right. I think you know it cost you a good job, and
my home that I had.
Well, no, you own the home still.
Right.
You'll get it back in May, and and you will have rented it. You will have made money on it during that time. So I don't mind tagging him for $100,000 or something. I just don't. I don't know how you've been harmed much more than $100,000 unless you want to just be punitive, which honestly is probably okay. This guy kind of deserves it, but I'm kind of with you. I mean, I'm vacillating while I'm talking to you. You hear me? So I'm not sure. This is weird, and as you know. So, and you're not the weird one. So, yeah. Okay, I want to be made whole financially plus a little if I'm you. Past that, this is dirty money for me.
Right.
I got, and I don't want to live on this farm, this ranch.
Right.
That's got bad juju all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. If I'm you, I'm just.
Yeah,
I'm trying to put myself in your shoes.
Yeah, get me out of there.
Yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to walk away with.
And legally, you're entitled to $500,000 legally, right? If her name's on the deed.
Yeah. Nothing this twerp can do about it. He stepped in it.
But the question is, what do you feel right about? Right, from just like a moral perspective.
Yeah.
Right. And that's being made whole plus a little bit more of what you're saying.
I would try. Do you have an ability to contact him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have your attorney contact him and say, I will sign a deed to you for $200,000 or whatever the number is. Okay. And then I would go get an apartment and sell off the animals and get out of this, get away from this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. And then go back to your house in May when the tenants move out.
I would just get away from the whole thing. Anything that keeps me in this story is disturbing. I want to get out of this story. It's a bad story.
Emotionally, that's probably the best.
No, I mean just generally. I think it's probably financially because it's you're distracted by evil stuff.
Did y'all date long term, Rebecca, for 2 years? For 2 years, long term.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Long distance.
But it was a bit of a roller coaster, long distance, and this was like he wants to commit. He wants to take the next step. He's ready to move
there's almost a level of like mourning this life that kind of whipped up really quickly for you. You know what I mean? Like, I know you guys were in a relationship for 2 years, but him moving, buying a ranch, you moved, you quit your job. I mean, you had a whirlwind within 90 days of this life that was ahead of you, and then it's gone as quickly as it came is what it feels like. So there's some whiplash for sure.
There's a whiplash penalty I'm willing that he should pay. I'm fine with that. And anything that he actually cost you, which is probably $100,000 give or take, and then a whiplash penalty or whatever you want to put on it. And I'll sign the deed for that. It sounds like he's got money.
He's got a couple mil.
Yeah, so he could write you a $200,000 check or whatever the number is you've got in mind, and you just sign the deed and we're done. Get the animals sold off so they're not hurt because he's not going to come back and feed them. You got to make sure they're gone, right? And so, and I would put this whole thing way in the rearview mirror. If you were my daughter, that's what I'd tell you to do.
Sucks. Sorry, Rebecca.
Yeah, it's awful. August is National Make a Will Month. Like we needed a month to do that. But there you go. Why do people not make a will? Well, number one reason is procrastination. 43% of adults without a will say they just haven't gotten around to it. Perfectionism is number two. Writing a will involves big decisions and dealing with your family. That's not perfectionism. That's avoidance.
I don't want to deal with that.
I don't want to deal with that. Or her or him.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking you need a certain amount of assets before you get a will. No, you don't. You just need to be 18 and care that the government doesn't conduct your affairs for you, like where your children go if you die. A belief that everything automatically goes to family. It doesn't. It goes to the lawyers. Son's uncertainty about the process. Many people say they just don't know how or where to start. Wills can be confusing, but our team is here to help. You can take our wills quiz to find out if a simple online will is right for you at ramseysolutions.com/wills quiz. Andrew's in Columbia, Missouri. Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I own a pool cleaning, repair and resurface company here in Columbia. I am in a partnership with another guy. We started the business about 3 summers ago. I had previous experience with a pool company here, one of the bigger ones here, and I decided to branch off, do my own thing. Started pretty small, so me and my partner, we started doing, power washing, window washing jobs, pool cleanings. We didn't have too many clients, probably about 10 to 15. Fast forward to the
Why did you need a partner?
Second year. At the time, so I technically I didn't.
Okay. And now you've learned that partnerships are the only ship that won't sail?
Correct. That's correct.
I'm guessing you two guys did not do anything like go to a lawyer and have a partnership agreement drawn up.
Initially, no. That happened later on, and it was pretty much too late by the time we did make one.
Mm-hmm.
Why
was it too late? What's happened?
So basically, we started last year. We started subcontracting for the pool resurface company that we actually bought. My partner, it was owned by one of his uncles. His uncles was higher up there. Made good money. Anyways, last year though, I got connected with one of my old managers that I actually worked with at the old pool store I worked at, and I said, "Hey, what do you think about coming over here? I'll pay you decent, and we'll basically start taking a lot of the clients that pool company that I used to work for has." So I probably took half of their commercial neighborhood pools, plus, 10 residential. And commercial ones have to be done 3 times a week, so those come out to 60 visits a week, plus repairs. Anyways, I had that happened last year as we were doing the pool resurfacing. So I got connected with that. At the time, that business, basically after we got done subcontracting for them, they said, "Hey, what do you guys think about buying this?" Obviously it was connected with my partner's family, so he was all about it. He wanted to do it, all this. And I said, "Hey," I was like, "how about we just buy the equipment and we slowly build?" He disagreed with me, and I eventually just gave in because I was like, well, maybe this will work out. So I gave in, and I was nervous about all of it. So anyways, fast forward now to this year, I'm basically running the pool repair and pool cleaning side. And, for example, last month we brought in about $49,000 revenue. The coat your pool side, he is supposed to be running, and he's done probably 2 jobs in the past 3 months and has brought in, we haven't profited anything from it.
Why? Is he not working?
Basically, I confronted him about it. I said, "Hey, we need to push this harder. We need to do this." And he has a kid with his girlfriend, and he basically, every time I bring it up and say, "Hey, we need to do this, we need to make more money, we're losing money right now," actually, he just says, "You wouldn't understand, you don't have a child at home," and things just get awkward after that. And,
Okay, so what does a partnership say about dissolving a partnership, about dissolving it? You have the agreement, right?
Yeah, so our agreement's very vague, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's
I
what
have
I
actually.
figured. Yeah, all right. So you're
I was
screwed.
talking to
What
a-
did you go into debt to buy this crappy business that this
Yeah.
crappy guy's running?
Yeah, so the business was 260,000.
Oh my God.
They basically said, "Hey, we won't charge you any interest. Basically, a 5-year plan. You'll pay $4,000 a month. We'll do all your marketing, get all your jobs the first year." And when I heard that, I was just like, initially, I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do this." I expressed it to him multiple times. I said, "This is dangerous. We're gonna."
But you did it, Andrew. But you did it.
I
Okay.
did. You're correct.
And so you didn't walk away, even though you knew you were supposed to walk away. So
Right.
the prudent see danger and seek refuge. The simple see danger, move forward and pay a penalty. And I've been simple and
Right.
move forward and pay a penalty. So how are we going to get out of this? You owe these people $260,000. It's his uncle. Will his uncle let you off and let him just give him that part of the business?
So-
You take the other part?
So the deal with the business is that we can give the business back at any time, and we can keep the money we made, and that is that. We can just give it back, and there's no more debt. Problem is, he doesn't, partner doesn't want to do that, but he's also not working.
Yeah, no, that's not. No. I want you to call the people back and say, "I'm going to give you my portion back," and then deed his portion, your partner's portion, to him. Let him have that business, and you go run your other business.
Right. Yeah.
Let him sit over there in his own poop.
Yeah.
Get away from it, Andrew, if you can.
You
And
got to
can.
get out of this.
Yeah.
Walk away.
Yeah. Well, what I do right now, I really enjoy too. So
You can
I
do
wake
the
up,
same thing.
excited every day.
Just take your portion of the business. He signs off and says, "This is your portion. I'll take you. You can have the portion that your uncle sold us, and you can have the debt, and you can make all the money in the world. Good luck, and you just turn this over here loose to me, and I'll take this, and we're splitting up."
Okay.
And if you don't do that,
Okay.
I'm going to hire a lawyer and sue you
Yeah.
because you don't work.
So
How old
I
are you
have
guys,
talked to
Andrew?
a lot.
26.
I'm 24 and he is 28.
Like I've done this before. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So rule of thumb is never do a partnership.
Right.
If you are dumb enough to do a partnership, you have to have thorough partnership agreements that deal with when one of the partners is not performing or doing drugs or dies or gets disabled or gets divorced, and you don't want to be in the pool business with his girlfriend, okay, or whatever. So all that, man, you don't have any of that. So you're screwed is where you are. But if you can go over and sit down with him and go, "Look, I'm so pissed off I can't see. This isn't working. I want you to take this whole thing, and I'll take this whole thing, and I'll sign over my part to you, and you sign over this part over here to me." And if you don't do that, I'm going to go get a lawyer and sue you because I'm not going to live like this anymore. It's not working for me. And you have been too stinking nice to tell people the truth.
And too nice to stand up for yourself, Andrew, of what you know is right and wrong.
Right.
So let's
This is your time where your backbone gets installed. Okay?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I have actually written.
You're
up
not
some
going to do
letters
it, are
of
you?
support. No, I I have already something written up. I'm just
I don't want to write anything up. I'm going to go sit down and have a cup of coffee and go, "Dude, I'm going to sign over this whole thing over here to you. It's going to be yours. You're going to sign this whole thing over here to me. It's going to be mine. We're not working together anymore. This is how this is ending. I'm done."
Yeah.
And you
I
could
didn't
be-
want to be in this in the first place. I wished I wasn't.
Your tone could be nicer than that.
I don't know.
But be done.
At least in your head have that
decisive.
tone.
Be decisive, Andrew.
Clear.
Clear and decisive.
And don't talk about all the stuff in the past and all that. All that matters is you're fired. That's all that matters. Our scripture of the day is Philippians 4:6. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God. Teddy Roosevelt said, complaining about a problem without posing a solution is called whining. I love it. All right, Matt's in Colorado Springs. Hey, Matt, what's up?
Hey, Dave. Hey, Rachel. How are you today?
Great. How can we help?
Yes, sir. So I've got a debt collector on my back, and it's for a relatively small amount. And I've heard you talk about debt collectors and their scummy kind of tactics and stuff, and I've never experienced this. So I was hoping you could help me. To make a long story short, my wife and I have been married about a year and a half now. We had about $38,000 worth of debt 9 months ago. We're down to 17. We're trying to work through baby step 2.
Nice.
Good.
She had a credit card, I guess, that before we got together she had. And when she was 20, I guess she decided she didn't feel like paying it back, and here it is. And I didn't know it was there.
What's the balance?
Hanging around. It's only $2,300. But the first time we've ever been contacted about it, they sent us a manila envelope to her old mailing address that had like legal documents, like they're going to take us to court over it.
That's a bluff.
We never got a phone call, text message, anything.
If they were going to take you to court,
time.
they would have done it a long time ago. It's been 5 years.
So it's been sold to a debt collector, obviously. So, you know, I've called them and I've taken your advice. I've given them barely any information about us, and I've haggled them, and they've told me final offer 3 times. And the best deal they're willing to cut me at this point is after 3 hours of haggling with them and 17 different people I've been passed to is $1,600. Now, I don't know if it's worth just paying the $1,600, but that would be my emergency fund. Plus, we do the OG cash folders. My wife loves your wallet, Rachel. So we got a wallet full of some grocery money and stuff.
Nice.
So that would be all that money. I just don't know if it's worth haggling them some more, calling their bluff, or just paying them and moving on.
How much you guys make a year, Matt?
I'm a UPS driver. She's a dental assistant. I make, between the two of us, she just got a raise. If I work overtime, I'd say we make before tax maybe 95-ish between the two of us right now.
Okay.
All right. So is this the next item in your debt snowball?
Well, this was an unexpected thing that just popped up about two days ago.
Wait a minute. You've had 17 conversations in 2 days?
Well, I've got Bluetooth headphones and 10 hours a day of slinging cardboard that I can argue with somebody all day if I have to.
So this whole thing stretched out over 2 whole days.
I mean, the first time, I guess maybe this makes more sense. Back in her old mailing address when this all happened was her parents' home. Back in February, someone pulled up to her parents' home asking for her. We didn't know what that was about, and they didn't tell her parents any information. And then about 3 days ago, someone pulled up and just handed her mother the manila envelope, the manila folder.
But to your point, you've only been in contact with them for 3 days, is what?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, let it sit.
Okay.
Just turn it off.
Because the paperwork says September, I think 12th or 18th, and that's when it's supposed to be officially filed with the court.
That's fine.
But I just don't know how serious to take that.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay, what would you recommend I do? Just keep haggling them until I get a better
I would
result,
call back when you've got the money to settle it. And, you could settle it for $1,000 today, right?
I tried. I mean, I told them, I said, look, I'm doing the Dave Ramsey plan. I don't have a lot of liquid access. I got $1,000. Take my money. And they said, no, that's ridiculous. We can only come down 25%. And then after some lady yelling at me for 30 minutes on the phone, she pulled the whole car salesman tactic. Let me talk to my manager.
Stop. Okay, next time you talk to them, if they say something in an inappropriate volume or inappropriate words, say, if you do that again, I'm hanging up.
Okay.
And then hang up. We're not going to have anybody yelling at me for 30 minutes over $2,000.
Okay.
Just hang up.
Okay.
That's a
tactic. I just don't want to wind up in a situation where I'm in a courtroom now.
You're not going to be in a courtroom. You're not even going to go. There's no point in going. You're going to lose. Not you, but your wife. She owes the money. Open and shut case. She loses. Now you're settling a judgment lien and not a debt. Whoop-de-doop-de. It doesn't matter. It's a 5-year-old debt.
They're saying they can come at us with all their fees and
they can come at you with all that if I choose to pay it. But until you choose to get a hold of me and you're not going to get it because you don't even know where we are. And
Got
make
it.
sure that her
Okay.
parents don't give out any information if anyone comes to their front door.
that's a good point.
And tell them if they come up on my property again, we're going to have them arrested for trespassing.
Okay, so they're really just trying to scare me and strong arm me, and I can just kind of
100%.
hold my
No,
ground.
they're trying to piss you off.
Okay.
If they can get you very afraid or very angry, you quit thinking with the proper parts of your brain and you just want to kill them.
Okay.
That's why they
Is it
yell.
worth calling them some more, or you think I just need
No,
to
I
let
would
it
let
rest
it
for a
let it
while?
sit a week. Let it sit a week.
Yes, sir.
And call them back and say, I talked to somebody over there. They were a moron, and I know what you guys paid for this. You probably paid about $100 for this debt, and I'm willing to give you $1,000. That's all I've got. If you want to take that, fine. If not, there's not going to be a lot of discussion here. Do you want that or not? Yes or no? If you don't speak reasonably, we're going to end the conversation. End the conversation.
Okay.
Call back the next day and do it again. And
Okay.
it's like training a dog. I mean, you just have to do it repetitively, right?
Yes, sir. My dog's got a shock collar, so it's a little
There you
easier
go.
when I'm
That's
training.
it. That's it. Just hit the shock collar, and eventually the dog
All right.
figures out we're not doing that crap, right? And so you have to
Yes, sir.
train these morons because their training has taught them that if they are unreasonable, angry, fear-based, anger-based, that they can get you thinking with the lizard part of your brain instead of the higher thinking parts of your brain, and you do irrational things like give them the money out of your food envelope, which we're definitely not going to do, dude. But
Can
you
I
make
ask you one more
$95,000, and you do need to get this cleared up sometime between now and Christmas. So
Yeah.
just get you
pay.
know.
You're going to pay something to get it out, and yeah.
And if you pay $1,600 between now and Christmas, and you've actually got the $1,600
Yeah.
by then, that's fine. You're okay.
But
They're
you don't need to
not-
wipe out your emergency fund for it.
and you're giving this way more attention than they are. So just back off. Just let them sit. Just let it sit for a week and call them up. And if you can have a reasonable conversation, fairly short, yes or no, you want to do
It is
this?
always fascinating that it's been 5 years,
Yeah.
and it just
And now we're going to sue
yeah,
you.
no, and it just randomly
Where the flip
comes.
were you
So,
before? You
yeah.
know, it's like,
So just remember that. Yeah.
it's just,
I mean, is it that it just sits there, it gets sold, all of it, and it just happens to be the file, and they grab that file, and next is next, and
yeah,
then
they're just working. It's a widget on
assignment,
the
yeah.
conveyor belt.
yeah, yeah.
And so,
The time is always so random to me.
yeah.
5 years later.
It's crazy.
Yep.
And, we know that this can be done. We bought $10 million worth of bad debt and forgave it all one Christmas. It was 8,000 accounts. Each of the 1,000 people that work here had 8 people to call and say, we forgave the debt in the name of Jesus. And we paid 2.5 cents on the dollar for it. I bought $10 million worth of debt for $259,000. Okay? And so, and it was all accounts just exactly like this.
Mm-hmm.
And we just called them up and said, your debt's forgiven in the name of Jesus. We'll
And
send
some
you
of them
an
were like, I don't remember that to
Yeah,
this
they're like,
point.
I didn't
It's
know I had a
been so
bill.
long. Yeah, it's been so
yeah.
long.
You remember that hospital bill you had from 5 years ago that was $42 and now it's $486? Yeah. There you go. That's it.
Yep.
That's the whole business.
But good
works.
for you, Matt. You and your wife doing this, and
I'm glad you're working
yeah,
through it, man.
I mean, yeah, y'all are doing the
And
plan.
he's being, let
and working
me tell
hard.
let me tell you what you're doing right.
He's
You're being very proactive.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what you're doing right. The thing I don't want you to do is fall into the trap of letting them control the narrative and the conversation. So give a little more space in between. Even though you've got the time to sit on the headset and throw boxes, don't do it.
Funny.
Okay? Let them sit over there and wonder if they're ever going to find your wife because they don't know where she is. And we're going to settle this for $1,000, and that's going to be a really good deal for them and a really good deal for you. And you get it in writing and no electronic access to your checking account, or you do not send a debt collector money because you can tell they're lying if their mouth is moving. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Up next, we are headed out to Chicago and Orlando for the Ramsey Show Live. Yep, you heard me right. We are taking this show to you. This is going to be everything you love about the Ramsey Show, except you get to be a part of it.
Part of what, George?
The Ramsey Show Live, Ken. That's what I'm telling them about.
Ramsey Show Live in here?
Nope, we're doing it on the road. You're going to Chicago with me and Rachel Cruze September 30th. Are you free?
The Windy City. I like it that time of year. You know what else I like, George? I like the deep dish.
Oh, okay. Maybe we'll have some deep dish. You mind if I finish the promo? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Appreciate that. Questions and answers, real conversations, and I'm sure a few surprises here and there.
George, are you in here talking about TRS Live?
I am, Jade. I'm trying to talk about it.
Nice. So that means it's actually happening, right?
It's happening. If I could tell the people, I think it could actually come to fruition.
Listen, just tell me when and where.
You don't know? Okay, we're going to Orlando. You're going to join Dr. John Deloney and I October 2nd.
Yes. Okay, great. I'm going to go pack now. Thanks, George.
Please do that. Go. Pack.
Hey, George, speaking of packing, is this like sweater weather or is it not that cold yet in Chicago?
What is happening? Can I please just get to how they buy the tickets?
Jeez, I thought it was a good question.
Okay. This is not an arena tour. This is a one-night only event in Chicago and Orlando. General admission is only $39, plus there's a VIP experience if you're bougie like that. But here's the thing, there's only 300 seats available, so get your tickets now at RamseySolutions.com/events.
Hey, how come you get to go to both cities?
I just go where they tell me, man. Hey, have you been there the entire time?
Maybe.
Okay, and also, are you reading a children's book?
I'm expanding my mind, George.
That's how we got those PhDs.
Yeah, that's probably where you got that jacket.
Okay. See you on the road, John.